Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to make everyone's favorite late night snack. And by snack, I mean an entire street taco plate with marinated steak, Spanish rice, and savory refried beans. And whatever that was. You don't want to miss this.
Let's get cooking.
Instead of watching me cut vegetables all day, I put it in this montage. Before getting started, dice one whole onion, chop an entire head of cilantro, and mince a few cloves of fresh garlic.
Nice gentle. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a big chunk.
Set those to the side.
Our protein of choice today is gonna be this beautiful one-of-a-kind skirt steak I bought from the store. When I saw that $10 price tag on there, I couldn't help but get it. And typically speaking, this is a higher quality of meat than what you typically get at your local taco stand. However, this one's more widely available and it's gonna taste even better. And you know what else is gonna taste even better? If we marinate this bad boy. In regards to the steak, it's up to you if you want to cut it either before or after you cook it. However, what's non-negotiable is cutting against the grain. So you see these lines right here? You want to be cutting in that opposite direction so that you get a more tender and more even slice. Cut a good portion off of it and then cutting it against the grain into nice thin pieces. You want to go ahead about an inch apart and just get them cut down into bite-sized pieces. Start off by using a little bit of cooking oil, okay? You can really go with whatever you like. You can use avocado oil, olive oil. I typically stick with vegetable oil because it's a little bit cheaper and it has a neutral flavor to it. Start with a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder. This freaky deaky orange goes in. I mean, look at that. I thought it was a regular orange. What the? And then half a lime. Don't be afraid to get a good amount of salt in there. We're gonna toss in some cumin, brown sugar for a little bit of sweetness, and some cayenne for that heat on the back end. The last thing I'm gonna grab is a little bit of smoked paprika, and if you can find it, a little bit of chipotle chili pepper. Before we mix everything together, add in a little bit of that freshly chopped garlic and a pinch of cilantro and mix that in. We got our marinade ready and our steak cut. Let's go ahead and add them together gently and then mix that in with your hand. Don't be a baby. By the end, it should look a little bit like this. Now you're gonna leave this in the fridge for about however much time you have until you cook it. Of course, the longer that you wait, the better the flavor is gonna seep into the meat. But don't really worry about if you need to cook it immediately. It's still gonna taste great. Let me wash my hands. Now I've been to my fair share of late night taco trucks and getting sides is kind of few and far between if we're being completely honest. But let's just go with it, okay? Let's just go with it. What, huh? Oh, you said you want to learn how to make sides with your street tacos? Good, good. Come on, I'm finna show you that, okay? I'm finna show you. Next, we're gonna make our refried beans because it's gonna take a little bit longer than normal. Next, we're gonna make our refried beans because that process is gonna take a little bit longer than the rice. If you have a day to spare, grab some fresh beans and soak them overnight. But I'm gonna use the canned ones, okay? It's just a little bit quicker, and I've seen that the results end up being more or less the same. Dump all that juice out and then give them a quick rinse. Try not to spill them like I did. Oh. Next, we're gonna get a medium-sized pan over a medium-sized heat. When the pan gets hot, throw in a handful of those diced onions that we made a little bit earlier. Once those begin to get translucent, add in about a teaspoon of garlic.
These two are quick to burn, so don't be afraid to give it a little shake.
If you really wanna have some fun, throw in a couple slices of fresh jalapeno. And let that toast up. Once everything is nice and toasted, add in your beans and about a cup of water. Last thing, give it a good stir. While that's beginning to simmer, let's go ahead and season it. Start off with a little bit of salt. Don't go overboard on this one because the beans are already a little bit salty. We're gonna add in some chicken bouillon, onion powder, garlic powder, and some black pepper. Pretty much we're adding in the same ingredients that we use to marinate the steak. So a little bit of cumin, smoked paprika, just a tiny bit, and some more of that chipotle chili powder. After about 10 minutes, the beans should be soft enough to mash. You're just gonna take your masher and go straight down with it.
All right, my food hack recommendation of the day
Is to use the canned stuff, all right? This is only my second time making refried beans from scratch, and honestly, we'll see how the final product turns out, but last time it tasted pretty similar. If you cook down the beans that are already mashed, throw some seasoning in there and a little bit of butter to finish it off, it's still gonna taste really good and taste pretty similar to your average taco shop. Finish those beans off with a pinch of cilantro.
Y'all already know we gotta throw some butter in there too.
All right, y'all, if I make this, you gotta like and subscribe.
Had to throw in the instant replay for the haters. Put me on y'all parlay slips next time.
First try. For the Spanish rice, we're gonna start off by, you guessed it, washing the rice. So you just want it under some cool water, just rinse it through and agitate it a little bit with your hand. It's gonna take about 6 or 7 times for the water to run clear, but trust me, the end result is gonna be a lot better than you think. Grab another handy dandy pot, get over medium heat. Same process as before, we're gonna add in a handful of onions or a teaspoon of garlic. Here's where things get a little bit different. We're gonna add in that washed rice right here and let it toast up a little bit. We're not trying to make blackened rice here, so when it turns a very, very light brown, go ahead and add in that tomato sauce. To save time, I'm gonna just tell you add all the seasonings that we've been adding previously. Go a little bit lighter on that chipotle chili pepper and go a little heavier on the cumin. For this recipe, I use jasmine rice, so I went with the 1.5 cups of water to every 1 cup of rice ratio. However, just use whatever the directions say on the back of your package, and hopefully it turns out for the best. It's been 20 minutes and it looks like the rice is done. Also, I added in a bay leaf off camera just to give it that nice aromatic in there. And of course, we're gonna finish it off with a pinch of cilantro. All right, 2 steps down, 1 more to go. So as you can see here, our beef has absorbed all of that juicy marinade and it's ready to get cooking. These are really thin pieces of meat, so you only want to cook it about 2 minutes per side or else it's going to dry out. We're going for a good medium rare here, so make sure not to overdo it. That pan is nice and hot, so we're going to go ahead and get all our beef in there. Hopefully not set off the smoke alarm as we do it. Press down in a few areas so you get as much of a sear as possible. After about 2 minutes, it's time to flip. Now, this is kind of an optional step, but I think it really helps in the end. We're gonna toast our tortillas real fast, and you can get any tortilla that you like. Of course, you said anything other than a yellow corn tortilla, then you're wrong, but you know, to each their own. If you have this type of built-in skillet on your stove, utilize that. However, if not, a regular pan works just as well. And there you have it, the perfect street taco dinner, all at the comfort of your own home. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you don't miss anything from the date night.